Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's G from Happiness and Crafting. So today I've got this lovely sort of like little simple sort of tri-fold little notepad for you today, and it's quite nice if you wanted to make like a last minute gift for somebody over Christmas or New Year. Now I've used my new papers. I'm going to give you a flip through of those in a minute. This is one of my words and phrases. I think this is from set 1. I've just added a little bit of seam binding to it, and it just opens out like that. It's a removable little notepad here, which is, I've just used some tea stained, coffee stained paper. I've attached it in there with a little bow. I've got two lovely little pockets here, and they've got just like little journaling letters in there, but again you can put tags or whatever you like in it. And then on the back I've got another little pocket here with another little journaling letter in there. So it's quite simple and it's really lovely, and I love these papers, really nice, and they sort of like mix and match really well, so I think this is beautiful. So I'm going to show you the papers in a minute, but that's the first one I did. I've used all, you get 9 papers in the set, so I've used 3 on this one, I've used 3 on this one, which is lovely. And again, this is one of my words and phrases, and this one says, in a world where you can be anything, be kind. So I think that's a lovely saying. So we open this one up. This one I've just used white copy paper. This is 100 GSM paper. So I think this looks quite nice on this one because it's sort of like nice and fresh. So I think it look nice. And then again, I've made some little letters in there for journaling space. And this is the sewing that we did yesterday, like I showed you how to do, which is really simple. And then on the back here I've got another little pocket with a trim on there with a little letter in it, and then I've just popped a little bit of seam binding on this one, and then all I've done for the closure, I've just wrapped it around like that, lovely bit of ribbon, and you just pop it through to hold it down like that. So this is quite a nice one if you wanted to give somebody. You could make a couple of the little notebooks to put in there as spares, so they can just take them out when they've used one, but it's quite nice because there's nothing really to catch in your purse. So if you want to pop it into your handbag, it's a nice one to pop in. So I'm going to give you a quick flip through of the papers. Loving these. There's 9 pages, so they're just really sort of like lovely flowery papers, and I'm loving them. Really pretty. And I've got some text script on the back of them, so they're sort of like shabby-ish papers, and I think they're great. So there we go. That's the ones that are in the shop at the moment, and I know lots of you have already bought them. So what I'm going to do, I've got some bits and pieces ready already. Okay. So this is some seam binding that I've coloured with the Seedless Preserve ink and the Distress Oxide ink. These are the ones that we were sewing. So I showed you how I did that, and that was really simple. Really simple. So I've made 2 of those, one for each side. That one's upside down, so they go that side. And that was the back pocket. Now, I popped the sizes on here, so I'll go through those in a minute. So I've written them on the back so we know where they are. This one I'm going to pop on the front, which is happiness. So that's again out of the words and phrases 1 set. And this is the little booklet. I made this and then I forgot that I should be showing you how to do it. So never mind, I've got one that I can sort of like half show you how to do. And I've started this one where I've got piece of just plain white card, and I've stuck it on there. So all I'm going to do now is stick this onto the back. So if I turn this over, hopefully it won't go all blurry. I'm going to just stick that to the back there, so we've got our base for the cover. So again, I'm just going to be using some glue stick. So I'm going to turn this over. Let's hope it's not going to go all blurry on the camera. So I do apologise if we do. Oh, look at that great big lump of glue. Don't need that on there, do we? So let's just pop this on here. Again, I'm all sticky already. So it's just, you can use recycled card underneath this because nobody's going to see it, but I didn't have anything that was quite big enough. Could have done with some like cereal boxes or something to use. I'm just going to quickly turn this over, make sure this one is up the right way, and pop this down. So let's try and get as level as we can without getting my head in the way. Just like that, and squash that down. Is that level? Probably not. Look, we've got a half hanging off the side, but we can cut that off. It doesn't really matter. Just even it up. So I'm just going to let that dry just a little bit before I do the edges, and I'm going to just show you how I made this little notepad. Now I've got some paper here, so this is just normal copy paper, and I've taken a piece of the leftover paper here, and I'm just going to make a little tab at the top, just like that. So I'm going to cut probably about 2 inches, just like that. Oops, 2-inch strip off there, and then I'm going to round these edges. So these little pads are great for anything. You can pop them into your journals and all sorts of things. So let's just make sure these are straight. I'm going to pop a little bit of this tacky glue, which is in here, on here, just like that. Pop that on. So sort of halfway down. Oops, make sure that's level. Turn it over and then just stick that down the back, just like that. Easy peasy. So you've got that on there, so make sure they're still level, and then all as you do then, take your little hole punch like this and make a couple of holes in it like that, and this side. Okay, so you've got 2 holes on there. So on here, make sure that's together, and then on here I've made 2 holes in here. So what you would do, you would put this onto your inside like that and mark the holes through there and punch a hole, and then you just tie it in with a little bow. So that's how simple it is, and you could make somebody a couple of these to pop into their journal as spares. So that's how easy that is. So that's exactly how I've made this one. Pop that to the side. Oopsie daisy. Okay, so let's cut this down so it's nice and straight. Let's get rid of some of that. So let's level this off a bit. Like this. It's the one that I did write down the sizes on here. Those two are 11 1/4 by 7 7/8. So that's how big they are. Because I'm cutting this one down, I didn't quite stick it on properly. It might be a little bit of a different size, because you can still see the little white, and I don't like that. So I'm just gonna cut this down like that. Okay, perfect. Now I'm going to keep this because I'm going to use this as like a scoreboard. So let's see how far off we are on this. So that is 11 1/8 of an inch. So it's quite a little bit off, but never mind. And that is 7 3/4. So it's just a little bit smaller than I made the other ones. So I'm going to round the edges off like this. So this is optional, you don't have to do this if you don't want to. but I think it sort of like finishes it off nicely, just like that. So I'm going to measure now. Now you have to decide which you want as your front and your back inside. So I think I'm going to put this one on the outside actually, and the lighter one on the inside. So what I need to do, I measured, my gosh, I've forgotten now, talking too much. I measured this one. I think these little ones are, so it was 3 3/4 and 3 1/2. So what I need to do, I need to measure, not cut. I'm using this as my scoreboard. So I'm just going to take my little tool here and just go down the line like this, because my scoreboard is all off. It doesn't really, I need to get a new one. So we do 3 3/4 and then 3 1/2, like this. Okay, so you've got like a 1/4 inch little bit there. Turn it around. So we want 3 3/4 down there like this. Then 3 1/2 like that. Perfect. Now I've done that, I'm going to sew all the way around the outside in a bit. Pop that to the side. So now you can see here, I don't want to bend it too much until I've sewn it, but that goes in like that, and then those pieces go in just like that, which is perfect. So that just sits there like this, upside down like that. Perfect. So we've got a little 1/4 inch little gap there. So now what I want you to do, I've got my little bits here, so these are the little pockets that I made. So I'm just going to pop that on here like that. Now because it's a little bit shorter, I will stick these on, or I might actually just rub that down there and then just cut that piece off. Just mark it and then cut that off, just like that. And we can stick that on, and I would do the same on this side. Pop that on there, just mark it there, so you've got a little mark, just like that. So I did measure these, so this is 2 inches this way, and it was 7 7/8 this way, but it's going to be a little bit different because I cut it down a little bit more. So you can just measure it, but this bit was 2 inches, but you can just pop this on and then just snip it off like I did then. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to use a little bit of tacky glue to pop it down. It's going to come out just to hold it in place while I sew it. So let's stick this down here. This side has got to be stuck down because I don't sew on this bit, but again you can if you like, and if you don't sew, just make sure you stick everything down properly, because you don't have to sew it if you don't need to, if you don't want to. So just pop that down through there along that line, just like that. And again on this side. So I've made these because I want to just pop them in with some of my gifts, just as a little extra, and they're quite simple to make, nothing too fussy, just like that. we go. So that's stuck on there. And then now what I need to do is just turn it over and stick this one in the middle there. Just make sure we know where we're sticking it. Let's bend this just like that, so that can be stuck like that. Okay, bit of glue, and this one was 3 inches by 3.5 inches on there. This one I don't need to cut down. Just like that. Put that on there. Oops. Okay, so I think that's that one straight. Yes, just about. So that's your little back pocket. So now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pop off, and I'm just going to go and sew all the way around the outside like that. So we will be back in 2 seconds. Okay, so there we go. So I've just sewn all the way around the edges, so that holds these in here, and it also holds in this back piece here. So let's just snip off the little bits of cotton there. Now what I'm going to do now is get my little booklet here. Now I'm going to pop that on here. Now this is going to be longer because obviously I made this a bit shorter, didn't I? So what I need to do is just cut a little bit off here. So let me get my Stanley knife, well not really a Stanley knife, my little knife here. Get my ruler, put this down, and then just cut a bit off like that. Just eyeball it. Okay, so that should fit better, shouldn't it? So that fits in there nicely. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to pop that in there, then I'm going to take a pencil, if it will fit, up here, which I don't think it's going to fit through there, will it? Maybe. Just pop a little pencil mark in there, okay, and then I just need to pop some holes in there. Pick that out, just like that, so we know they are in the right place, like that. Perfect. So that can sit on there. We will get some seam binding here, which is the lovely purple one. Knot in it. Don't need that knot in there. So let's see if I can poke this through. I might need, actually, I might pop it through my needle again, because I think it will be easier to go through instead of struggling. Now where's the end gone? Here we are. Pop that through there, just like that. So we go through there, pull that through if I can. Back up through there, and then back up through there. Perfect. Okay, so this is why they're removable. So you just tie a little bow on there, and then you can, once it's been used, you can pop a new one in. That's why it's quite nice to send, if it's a gift, to send a couple of these little ones that you've made. Pop that on there, a little bow. Not a very good bow, was it? Let's start again. better. Cut the ends off, and there we are. And I think that looks really pretty in there like that. And these just fold up. Let me just cut this little bit off here. There we go. So that just folds in there. So you've got like a little bit there. Okay, goes that way. Perfect. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a little hole in here just for the closure. So just eyeball that about there. And then I'm going to pop one of my little thingy-majiggies in here. Pop that in. I don't use these are the cutters, but little hole marks, but because this is so old, these don't really cut very well anymore. What am I doing? Pop that in there. Squash that down, and there we go. Perfect. That out of the way. So that sits on there. Now I'm going to use some of this. So it depends how long you would like yours. If you just want it wrapped around once, just like that, you can, and thread it through there. But I think I'm going to do it sort of twice, so that's a little bit too long. So about there, so let me just measure that for you. Let's see what that would be roughly. 24, about 36 inches you would need of this, or any ribbon. Of course, use any ribbon that you've got. Pop that through, fold it in half, and then try and get it through here. There we go. Loop it through. Pull that tight. Just like that, and then you've got your little closure like that. So that just goes round and through there. Perfect. So now what we're going to do is just pop this little happiness on there. We shall use, have we got any seam binding? Not seam binding. I need a little bit of this, which is the cheesecloth. Wrinkle that up just to make it look a little bit pretty and then shabby. Like that. This is a little bit too big. Shut that bit off. Just like that. Put that on. So I'm going to stick this down with some glue stick. Just sort of like wrinkle it up a little bit, just like that. And I'm going to stick this on with some 3-in-1. A little bit of glue on there. Oops, don't want it upside down, do we? Pop that on, and I think that looks really nice. Again, you can have it plain or pop whatever you like on it. Now what we are going to do, I'm going to make, that looks lovely, I'm going to make a couple of little letters to go in here. 2 in there, 1 in either side there, and then 1 in the back. Now I did have here, so I've just got 3 pieces of paper. Now this is just half of an A4 sheet, and all I'm going to do, I'm going to fold it in 3, just like that. Make sure that will fit in there properly. Yes, perfect. So I'm going to round the edges off like this. And on these. Just like that. Oops. I hope this isn't going blurry. If it is, I will fast forward it quickly. Okay, so we've got 3 like that, and now what I'm going to do, I'm going to use up some of the paper, which is this one, so it goes with it, and I'm going to make 3 just little things to go on the paper so we know it all matches in. So I'm going to just take 1 inch of each one like that. Or you can cut out, if you've got a punch, you can cut out hearts or flowers or whatever you like, but it's just so that they match in with your little folder. Now I'm going to take this little punch, corner punch. This is what came with my laminator. Came free with my new laminator, so I'm going to be doing some projects on that as well, which are fun. And then I'm going to just take a little bit of glue, just like that, if it will come out. There you go. Right way round, pop it on the top of the page, just like that. So it's quite simple. Folded piece of paper with a little bit of that on it, so it just matches in lovely. We just want 3 of these. A little bit of glue. Pop that on the top. Again, you can use the tea stain paper or whatever paper you wanted to. You could even use the pattern paper as well, and just leave it white on the back, so you can do your writing on the back. But if you use these, you can make 3 of these with a set of papers, because they all take 3 papers each. So that one goes in there, that one goes in there, and then we fold it up, and then this one goes in the back, just like that. Piece of cotton out the way, and that's how simple it is. And then you just wind it round and tuck it in. So how lovely, and I absolutely love them. Really, really simple to do, and I'm loving the papers. So that one tucks in there like that, and then we've got our little blue one here, just like that, and that tucks in there. So there we go, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. Very simple, lovely little gift to give somebody, or even for a little happy mail as well. Which I will be sending out next year. So there we go, guys. I hope you are all safe and well, and I will see you soon. Take care. Bye bye.